The deception. Captain Maya Rice stood at the observation deck of the UES Artemis, her dark eyes fixed on the distant sparkle that had triggered every warning system aboard her vessel. After 12 years in the Earth Defense Force, she had learned to trust her instincts. And right now, they screamed danger. Analysis complete, Captain. Lieutenant Vega called from his station, voice tight with concern. The object's velocity and trajectory don't match any known natural phenomena. It's artificial, and it's heading straight for Earth. Maya nodded, her expression remaining neutral despite the gravity of the situation. The Artemis wasn't just any ship. It was humanity's best-kept secret. A vessel built with technology that Earth's governments had collectively agreed to hide from the rest of the galaxy. For 2 decades, humanity had maintained the facade of being a primitive spacefaring race, all while preparing for a day they hoped would never come. "Show me the scan results," Maya ordered, turning away from the window. A holographic display sprang to life in the center of the bridge, revealing a sleek, predatory vessel unlike anything in Earth's database. Its hull bore markings that the ship's AI translated as belonging to the Xilari Empire, a name that sent a chill down Maya's spine. The Xilari were notorious throughout the known galaxy, not for their military might, but for their resource extraction operations. They would find developing worlds, overwhelm them with superior technology, and strip them bare of valuable resources, leaving behind nothing but hollow shells of planets. "They're scanning the solar system," Lieutenant Vega reported, his fingers dancing across his console. "Their energy emissions suggest they're using standard surveyor protocols. They don't know we can detect them." Maya allowed herself a grim smile. This was exactly the scenario they had prepared for. The Artemis wasn't just a warship. It was humanity's insurance policy. While the rest of Earth's fleet consisted of deliberately outdated vessels, the Artemis represented the true extent of human technological achievement. "Send the alert to command, but maintain our current position," Maya ordered. "Let's see what our visitors do next." The next few hours were tense as they observed the Xilari scout ship methodically scanning each planet in the solar system. Maya used the time to review the Artemis's capabilities one more time. The phase shift drive was still experimental, but it was their greatest advantage. Unlike conventional faster-than-light travel, it allowed the ship to exist in multiple quantum states simultaneously, making it nearly impossible to target. The alert klaxon suddenly blared through the bridge. "Captain," Lieutenant Vega's voice was urgent. "They've launched automated probes toward Earth. Initial readings suggest they're equipped with deep scan capability." Maya's decision was immediate. "Initiate phase shift. Target those probes. We can't let them report back what they find." The Artemis's engines hummed to life, the deck vibrating slightly as the phase field engaged. To any observer, the ship would appear to blur, seeming to exist in several places at once. The technology was based on principles that most races considered theoretical, but humanity had cracked the code through decades of secret research. The engagement was brief but decisive. The Artemis shifted through quantum states faster than the probes could react, destroying each one with precise plasma shots. The Xilari scout ship immediately altered its course, attempting to flee, but Maya had anticipated this. "Execute pattern Delta," she commanded. The Artemis phased into existence directly in the scout ship's path, its weapons already charged. Maya opened a communication channel. "Xilari vessel, this is your only warning. You have entered restricted space. Power down your engines and prepare to be boarded." The response came in the form of an energy surge as the Xilari ship attempted to power up its weapons. Before they could fire, the Artemis phase-enhanced weapons had already struck their target. The scout ship's engines flared briefly before going dark. As Maya watched the disabled vessel drift, she knew this was only the beginning. The scout ship's failure to report back would bring more auxiliary ships, but that had always been part of the plan. Humanity needed the galaxy to understand that Earth was not the easy target they assumed it to be. "Send a recovery team," Maya ordered. I want every piece of data from their systems. And contact Earth Command. Tell them." She paused, choosing her words carefully. "Tell them the game has begun." The bridge crew worked in focused silence, each understanding the weight of the moment. Humanity had just revealed a fraction of its true capabilities, and there would be no turning back. The coming days would determine whether their long preparation had been enough. As Maya watched the recovery team approach the auxiliary vessel, she thought about all the sacrifices that had led to this moment. The decades of secret development, the resources poured into the phase shift program, the carefully maintained facade of technological inferiority. It had all been for this. The galaxy was about to learn that humans were far more than they appeared to be, and the auxiliary empire had just made a fatal mistake in choosing Earth as their next target. The news of the auxiliary scout ship's destruction spread through Earth's military command like wildfire. In the vast underground complex beneath Mount Cheyenne, Admiral Takashi watched the holographic replay of the Artemis's engagement for the 6th time. The phase shift technology had performed even better than their simulations had predicted. "The auxiliary database confirms our worst fears," Maya reported via quantum-encrypted channel from the Artemis. Her holographic form stood before the assembled military leadership of Earth. They designated our solar system as a primary harvesting target. Their main fleet will arrive within 10 days. Admiral Takashi nodded grimly. "How many ships?" "At least 200 capital ships, supported by over 800 smaller vessels." Maya's expression remained steady as she delivered the news. "But there's something else. The auxiliary have never failed in a harvesting operation. They don't just believe they're invincible. They've never had reason to doubt it." "Then we'll give them their first lesson in humility," Takashi replied, his weathered face showing a hint of a smile. "Captain Rice, initiate Phase 2. We're done hiding." Throughout the solar system, hidden installations began powering up. Asteroid bases that had masqueraded as mining operations revealed themselves to be military shipyards. The facade of Earth's technological backwardness began to crumble as the true extent of human preparation became apparent. On Mars, massive hangar doors opened in the side of Olympus Mons, revealing rows of ships equipped with variations of the phase shift drive. They weren't as advanced as the Artemis, but they were far beyond anything the Xilari would expect from a primitive Earth. Maya spent the next week preparing her crew for what was to come. The Artemis phase shift drive had been upgraded based on data from their encounter with the scout ship. Lieutenant Vega had discovered ways to extend their phase transitions, allowing for even more unpredictable combat maneuvers. "The key is psychological warfare," Maya explained to her assembled crew. "The Xilari believe they're technologically superior. Their entire strategy relies on overwhelming primitive civilizations with advanced technology. We're going to use that arrogance against them." The plan was audacious. While the rest of Earth's hidden fleet would remain concealed, the Artemis would present itself as humanity's sole defender. They would allow the Xilari to believe they had stumbled upon a single advanced ship, an anomaly rather than a representation of Earth's true capabilities. They'll assume the scout ship was destroyed by luck or a malfunction, Lieutenant Vega added during the briefing. "The Xilari database shows they've encountered isolated advanced technology before, but they've never faced a civilization that could match them ship for ship." As the days passed, the tension mounted. Earth's surface remained calm, its population unaware of the approaching threat. This, too, was part of the plan. The appearance of normal civilian life would reinforce the Xilari's belief in their superiority. The Artemis underwent its final modifications. The phase shift drive was linked to a new weapon system that could fire through its own quantum states, making it appear as though attacks were coming from multiple positions simultaneously. The ship's AI had been upgraded to handle the complex calculations required for extended phase transitions. Maya spent hours in simulation, pushing the ship's capabilities to their limits. The phase shift technology was still experimental, and prolonged use could have unpredictable effects on both the ship and its crew. But they had no choice. Everything hinged on convincing the Xilari that they faced only one advanced ship. 3 days before the expected arrival of the auxiliary fleet, Maya received a private transmission from Admiral Takashi. "Captain, there's something you need to know." His expression was grave. "The phase shift drive. Our latest calculations show that extended use could create permanent quantum entanglement of organic matter." "You mean the crew could become phase-locked?" Maya asked, understanding the implications immediately. "Yes. If you maintain multiple quantum states for too long, you and your crew might never be able to fully return to a single state of existence. You'd be conscious across multiple quantum realities simultaneously." Maya absorbed this information in silence. The risk was enormous, but so were the stakes. "Does the crew know?" "No. As captain, this decision falls to you." Maya thought of her crew, of Earth, of everything they had worked for. "The risk doesn't change anything," she said finally. "We'll do what needs to be done." As she ended the transmission, Maya looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, the auxiliary fleet was approaching, confident in their superiority, unaware that they were heading into a trap decades in the making. But the price of victory might be higher than anyone had anticipated. The final days of preparation passed quickly. The Artemis took up its position near Mars, apparently alone in its defense of Earth. Behind it, hidden in quantum shadows, Earth's true fleet waited. Everything was ready. Now they just needed the auxiliary to take the bait. The reckoning. The auxiliary fleet emerged from hyperspace in a display of overwhelming force. 200 capital ships materialized in perfect formation, their hulls gleaming with predatory intent. Smaller vessels swarmed around them like angry wasps, their sensors immediately beginning to scan the solar system. Maya stood on the Artemis's bridge, watching the massive fleet appear. Despite all their preparation, the sight was still intimidating. Each auxiliary capital ship was larger than anything humanity had ever built, their weapons capable of reducing planets to ash. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies," Lieutenant Vega reported, his voice steady despite the tension. "They're demanding Earth's immediate surrender." "Let's give them what they expect," Maya replied, nodding to her communications officer. The message they transmitted was deliberately crafted to reinforce the auxiliary's preconceptions. Earth's governments responded with a show of panic and confusion, their messages overlapping and contradicting each other. To the auxiliary, it would appear as though they faced a fractured, primitive civilization, unable to mount a coordinated defense. "Now for our part," Maya said, her voice calm despite the stakes. "Take us in. Attack pattern Epsilon." The Artemis surged forward, its phase shift drive engaging. To the auxiliary sensors, it would appear as though a single ship had suddenly appeared from nowhere, charging their fleet with what seemed like suicidal intent. "They're scanning us," Vega reported. "Multiple targeting locks detected." "Wait for it," Maya commanded, her fingers gripping the armrests of her command chair. "Wait until they're all focused on us." The auxiliary fleet responded exactly as predicted. Dozens of vessels broke formation, moving to intercept the apparent lone defender of Earth. Energy weapons charged as the alien ships prepared to eliminate what they believed to be a minor annoyance. "Now," Maya ordered. "Full phase spread, weapons free." The Artemis's phase shift drive engaged to its maximum capacity. The ship simultaneously existed in 12 different quantum states, each one appearing solid to the auxiliary sensors. It was as though a dozen identical ships had suddenly materialized. The auxiliary response was chaotic. Some ships fired at one phase image, others at another. None of their weapons found their mark, as the Artemis shifted between states faster than they could target. Meanwhile, the Artemis' own weapons were devastatingly effective. Firing through its own quantum states, the ship launched attacks from multiple vectors simultaneously. 3 auxiliary cruisers exploded in rapid succession, their defensive systems unable to cope with the multi-dimensional assault. "Phase status," Maya demanded, feeling the ship shudder as the drive pushed to its limits. "Holding at maximum spread," Vega responded, though sweat beaded on his forehead. "But we're seeing quantum resonance in the crew quarters." The phase effect is beginning to affect organic matter. Maya nodded grimly. They had known this was a possibility. How long until critical entanglement? At current usage, approximately 40 minutes. That will have to be enough, Maya replied. Maintain current phase spread. Continue the attack. The battle continued, the Artemis cutting through the auxiliary fleet like a phantom blade. Unable to effectively target the phase-shifting ship, the aliens fell into disarray. Their rigid command structure, accustomed to overwhelming primitive civilizations, had no protocols for dealing with a technologically superior foe. 20 minutes into the engagement, the Artemis had destroyed 14 capital ships and dozens of smaller vessels. The rest of the auxiliary fleet had fallen back, regrouping around their flagship, a massive vessel 3 times the size of the largest Earth ship. "The flagship is hailing us," Vega reported. "On screen," Maya ordered. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a tall, slender alien with iridescent scales and 4 glowing eyes. Admiral Chosh, the Artemis database identified him. Supreme Commander of the auxiliary harvesting fleet. "Impossible vessel," Chosh hissed, his translator struggling with the concept. "What manner of deception is this? No primitive race possesses phase technology." Maya smiled coldly. "Perhaps you should reconsider your definition of primitive, Admiral. One ship, no matter how advanced, cannot stand against the might of the auxiliary empire," Chosh declared. "Surrender now, and your world will be harvested humanely. Continue this resistance, and we will reduce your civilization to atoms." "I think not," Maya replied. "You see, Admiral, there's something you should know about humans. We don't like being underestimated." She cut the transmission and turned to Vega. "Signal Earth Command. It's time for Phase 3. Throughout the solar system, hidden installations that had remained dormant suddenly activated. On Mars, the secret shipyards of Olympus Mons launched their fleets. From within Jupiter's atmosphere, stealth platforms rose like leviathans from the depths. From Earth itself, hundreds of ships rose from concealed bases, their engines burning bright against the darkness of space. The auxiliary fleet, still reeling from the Artemis attack, suddenly found themselves surrounded by a force that matched their own in size and exceeded it in technology. "This is Admiral Takashi of the Earth Defense Force," boomed a transmission across all frequencies. "You have violated Earth space, threatened our planet, and attacked our vessels. We hereby declare war against the auxiliary empire. There will be no harvesting today." The auxiliary response was immediate and predictable. Their fleet broke into battle formations, preparing to engage the newly revealed Earth forces. But they had already lost their greatest advantage: surprise. "Captain Rice," Takashi's voice came through on a secure channel. "The fleet will engage the main auxiliary force. Your mission remains unchanged. Target the flagship. End this before it becomes a war of attrition." "Understood, Admiral," Maya replied. "We're on our way." She turned to her crew. "You all know the risks. The phase shift effect is beginning to affect organic matter. In approximately 15 minutes, we'll reach the point of no return. After that, the quantum entanglement will become permanent." She paused, looking at each of them. "I won't order anyone to continue. If you wish to transfer to another vessel, now is the time." Not a single crew member moved. Lieutenant Vega spoke for all of them. "We've trained for this mission for years, Captain. We're with you until the end." Maya nodded, a lump in her throat. "Then let's finish this. Set course for the auxiliary flagship. Maximum phase spread." The Artemis surged forward, weaving through the chaos of the battle that now raged throughout the solar system. Earth's fleet engaged the auxiliary vessels with surprising effectiveness. The aliens' confidence had been shattered, their belief in their own superiority crushed by the revelation of humanity's true capabilities. As the Artemis approached the auxiliary flagship, Maya felt the first symptoms of quantum entanglement. Her vision blurred occasionally, as though she was seeing through multiple sets of eyes simultaneously. Brief moments of disorientation came and went as her consciousness flickered between quantum states. Phase effect reaching critical levels, Vega reported, his voice occasionally echoing strangely as though coming from multiple sources. Organic entanglement at 60% and rising. "We're almost there," Maya replied, forcing herself to focus. "Prepare the phase torpedoes." The Artemis phased into existence directly above the auxiliary flagship, its weapons locked onto the alien vessel's command center. "Admiral Shosh," Maya transmitted, "this is your final warning. Withdraw your fleet immediately, or be destroyed." The Admiral's response was defiant. "We are the auxiliary. We do not retreat. Your deception has bought you time, nothing more. The Empire will send more ships, more fleets. Your world will be harvested." "I was hoping you'd say that," Maya replied. "It makes what comes next much easier." She turned to her weapons officer. "Fire phase torpedoes, full spread." The Artemis launched its most devastating weapons, torpedoes that existed in multiple quantum states simultaneously, making them impossible to intercept. They phased through the flagship's shields as though they weren't there, detonating within the vessel's core systems. The auxiliary flagship began to break apart, secondary explosions rippling through its massive hull. Admiral Shosh's transmission cut off mid-threat as his command center was engulfed in flames. Throughout the solar system, the remaining auxiliary vessels, witnessing the destruction of their flagship, began to retreat. Without their supreme commander, their rigid hierarchy collapsed. What had begun as a harvesting operation had turned into a devastating defeat. On the Artemis's bridge, Maya struggled to remain focused. The phase effect had reached critical levels. She could see multiple versions of her crew, multiple versions of the bridge, all overlapping like a hall of mirrors. "Phase effect at maximum," Vega reported, his voice coming from seemingly everywhere at once. "Organic entanglement complete. We can't turn back now, Captain." Maya nodded, accepting their fate. "Send our final report to Earth Command. Tell them it was an honor." As the remaining auxiliary ships fled the solar system, the Artemis and its crew entered a state of existence unlike anything humanity had experienced before. They existed in multiple quantum states simultaneously, neither fully present in any one reality, yet somehow conscious across all of them. In the days that followed, Earth celebrated its victory. The auxiliary threat had been neutralized, and humanity had revealed itself as a force to be reckoned with in the galaxy. But amid the celebrations, few spoke of the price that had been paid. The Artemis never returned to Earth. Instead, it took up a position in the outer solar system, its crew continuing to serve in their own unique way. Phase-locked between quantum states, they became the ultimate guardians, able to observe multiple timelines simultaneously, to see threats before they materialized. 1 year after the battle, Admiral Takashi visited the Artemis in a specially equipped vessel. The communication was difficult, like speaking to someone who existed both here and elsewhere at the same time. "The auxiliary empire has signed a non-aggression pact," he informed Maya, whose quantum-shifted form flickered before him. "Word of their defeat has spread throughout the galaxy. Earth is no longer seen as an easy target." "And the crew?" Maya's voice echoed strangely, coming from multiple sources at once. "How are they being remembered?" "As heroes," Takashi replied simply. "The greatest heroes humanity has ever known." Maya smiled, her expression visible across multiple quantum states. "We made our choice, Admiral, and we'd make it again." As Takashi's ship departed, he looked back at the Artemis, a vessel that now existed in multiple realities simultaneously, a guardian at the threshold between what is and what could be. The ship that laughed in the face of alien arrogance and changed humanity's place in the galaxy forever. In the endless void of space, the Artemis continued its silent vigil, a testament to human ingenuity, courage, and sacrifice, and a warning to any who might underestimate the determination of humanity again.